What if every dollar spent in your community stayed in your community? Right now, money flows faster out than it flows in. Big banks, credit card companies, corporate chains, they're all profiting from your local economy while your small businesses struggle. All that's about to change. We see Main Street not as a relic of the past, but as engines of the future. We've built a smarter system, one where every transaction strengthens your community, where money spent locally stays local, where your favorite coffee shop, bookstore, and family restaurant grow stronger. Look, we get it. This is different. We've been told for decades that the only way forward is through traditional banking systems. But the truth is, those systems were never designed with your community in mind. They weren't built to grow local wealth. They were built to extract it. So instead of handing you new technology and hoping it works, we want to roll up our sleeves, stand beside you, and build the future of your community together. That's why we don't just hand you technology and walk away. We become your partner. We're in the trenches with you every step of the way. Whether you're a shopper, a business, or a city leader, we're here for the long haul. The future of your local economy is yours to shape. Join the movement. Choose Downtown Digital Dollars.
All right, everyone. What's happening? Welcome to Thursday night. Bobby Gray here. Your bestie, your founder, your fearless leader, the guy that's got to answer all the tough questions. That had a great day out on the track. We were hanging out today at G2 Motorsports with McKinney Police, Collin County Sheriffs, the guys from around town, trying to participate with the community, give back a little bit, let them know that we're having a good time. We've got a lot of fun toys, but we want to involve them. If what we do is successful for us, but we don't have an impact on the community, it's going to be hard to have them take us seriously when we come to them later and say, hey, we've got a financial solution that's going to help you guys keep more money in town. If they know us, if they like us, if they trust us, then they're much more likely to listen to us when we tell them we've got a powerful solution that can improve the quality of lives for people in Main Street. And so that's what we did today, and we had a great time. And I want to share my evening with you, and thanks for joining me to bring you up to speed on exactly why I am so excited today. It's the holiday season. People are getting together, families breaking bread, sharing stories, gift giving. For some of us, that's really great and fun, and we're dealing with more abundance than we've ever had. For others, it's a time of stress and challenge and struggle. And we hear that. We listen to that. We know that markets are in different turbulent times at this time of the year, and our market is no different. And because I'm directly plugged in to good information, because I'm here every day working hard for our mutual success, I know what we've got. I know it better than everyone else does. Even the people that are in this office don't know what it is that drives me forward every day. We had a call last night, and some people said, well, okay, maybe it would be a good idea to share some of this information with our community. We talk every Tuesday night about what's happening with the mine, what's happening with our promotion strategies, what's happening with, us financially. But maybe we want to have Bobby share what's happening with the progress of our project with everyone else. And not just for the 400 people on this call right now. And again, thank you for taking time out of your evening to join. But for everyone else that watches this later tonight or tomorrow or the next day, or the people that watch the chopped up bits of this thing, and give them an opportunity to connect directly with good information from the founder, from the guy that's the one that's really got the greatest vested interest in our success. Not only was I the one that probably put in the most to get us to where we are today, but I'm also the guy that gets to win the most if the things that we've come up with and the things that we've built together are in fact successful. So let's hear it from me. What is it that I have to say about why I am so very excited, more excited now than ever about the future of our project? And so I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as I can. Usually we like these calls to be about, 30, 45 minutes, and then we can go back to our regularly scheduled lives. But first, before we get started, I want to kind of back up quite a bit and talk about how we got here today. As you recall, in 2008, I started the American Open Currency Standard. This is the standard for honest trade. What I was doing was getting people, individuals, communities to barter with gold and silver and copper tokens. And it was hard work. Now, remember, 2008 is an interesting year because it's the year that I started the American Open Currency Standard, AOCS, but it's also the year that Satoshi Nakamoto, probably not their real name, started Bitcoin. I think a lot of people back then, as we're going through this financial collapse, saw the same problem. Money is at the root of everything that's wrong with the world. And Satoshi had a digital solution for that problem. Bobby Gray, as I went by Rob Gray back in the day, thought that we were going to go physical. I was thinking horse and buggy. I was thinking gold, silver, copper. These are monetary metals that have stood the test of time, thousands of years. And so, look, if the lights go out, if the grid goes down, if the zombies take over, we're going to want to have these little, round discs of metal so that we can barter with each other. Your high tech, fancy pants computer based iPhone solutions sound good and nifty, but if the lights go out, man, you're out. And so I started that back in 2008, and it was work. It was hard work. It was difficult to get people to go backwards. As a species, as we evolve, as civilization improves, we like to go forwards. Generally speaking, I'd like to think that we are in an upward spiraling motion of improvement. Life has gotten better. Would you rather be alive today as you are, or would you rather be the richest person in the world 100 years ago? You didn't have a hot shower, you didn't have an iPhone, and all the world's information in the palm of your hand. And so, society in general, if we step back and look at the big picture, is generally speaking improving. Some things feel a lot worse. But in general, I think quality of lives, how many years we're living, how good those years are, I think we're getting better. And so when I looked at the problem in 2008, I looked backwards. I did very well. It was hard work getting people to look at it the same way that I did. I did well with it. And one of the things that I did that was extremely successful is what I call coin of the realm. Cooter, COTR for short, as it exists here in my in my folder on my desktop so I can share this with you. Let me pull this up and see if I can share coin of the realm with you. We're going to run through this real quick so you can see how we got to where we are today with coin of the realm. And coin of the realm was a turnkey event token service program. And the reason I did this is because I said, look, I'm trying to get cities and towns to use a community currency. Now, the community currency idea is nothing new. Community currencies are all over the country. Towns big and small use them, and they work, but they're work. And so I found a shortcut. And, there are a couple things that I did in my early days that made me extremely successful. And one of them was, figuring out how to use gold and silver like corporate companies use barter systems and services. And when it came to getting getting community currencies working, I was extremely successful by going through fairs and festivals. And I did that through this turnkey event token service. And we'll go through this real quick. But the problem back in the day, and remember, we're talking 2008, 2009, 2010. We're talking about, okay, phones are here, but the rate of adoption is nowhere close to where it is today. So back then, 2008, 2009, 2010, most events are still using cash or paper coupons. And so, I wrote out a lot of content talking about how cash isn't always king. Vendors have to deal with theft, they have to deal with counterfeiting. And the event organizers that are taking a percentage from the vendors that are at these fairs and festivals have to count on the honor system for the vendors to report their earnings properly. So imagine going back. I mean, the majority of events back in this day were still using cash or paper tickets inside. And so, I looked at all the problems that they had, and I introduced tokens as a solution to that. I said tokens are accountable. When visitors enter, they're invited to exchange, and it's fast and easy. We can automate that process. Then it's fast. When you're paying somebody, you don't have to make change. You got $1 units. It's honest because they're virtually impossible to profitably counterfeit. And then when you go and cash out, it's accurate. You don't have to worry about trying to weigh these paper tickets or count them by hand, which, when you're counting hundreds of thousands, millions of tickets, is a disaster that takes weeks. And it's a lot of fun. And everyone benefits through the program that we offered. And so I was introducing through Coin of the Realm the idea of using half-ounce copper tokens at fairs and festivals. And it worked. And I offered Coin of the Realm as a turnkey event token service where we'd show up with the vending machines, with the counting machines, with the instructions and training for the vendors there so that they knew exactly what to look out for and how it worked. We created the finest tokens in the land. Visitors came to the event. They exchanged their cash and cards for tokens. Visitors trade those tokens for goods and services, and then the vendors redeem the tokens for cash at the end with 99.999% counting accuracy in record time. And this was our fee structure. This is how much I charged back in the day for Coin of the Realm. Nothing. Zero. Coin of the Realm worked exclusively back in the day on what we called takeaway, breakage. That's, you go to the fair, you buy $100 worth of these little half-ounce copper tokens, and you think that they're kind of cool. They're themed for the event. So you only spend, 90, 95 of them. That means that 5% of those tokens, maybe 5-10%, never got spent. They end up in the cup holder of the car, just like Chuck E. Cheese tokens. And next thing you know, you've got this souvenir collectible. You bought it for $1. What would you pay for a copper token, that was kind of cool, that was a theme? Maybe $2, $3, $4. You got these for $1 and you saved them. And that's the money that we made. So we didn't charge any fee to the event because we worked exclusively off that breakage, that takeaway. And it saved the vendors money. It increased their revenue. It created an accountability system for them. It eliminated fraud, and it enhanced the visitor experience. And those were all really great virtues that we introduced through the IAFE, the International Association of Fairs and Expositions. I think our first year there was 2011. And it went over extremely well. And we had fairs and festivals using our turnkey event token services. One of the most fun places where we had these things working properly was at Renaissance festivals. And I got a bit of a video queued up here. Let me see if I can pull it up and show you this video real quick. There we go. Let me make the screen big and go back here and share my screen with you and share the sound. Here we go.
Love Coin of the Realm. I took on this festival 4 years ago, although it's in its 5th year, and I tried to make it grow quietly. And I was on the web one day and I saw a Coin of the Realm. And I said, I want these. And last year when Coin of the Realm came, it was my dream. It really was my dream, and I was so excited. And then this year, it's gone over so much better because all the merchants are taking Coin of the Realm as their only coinage.
My first experience with the Coin of the Realm was definitely a fun spin on things. I mean, you never really know with anything until you try and have that opportunity to at least experience it. I mean, it's not like they make it difficult to take part in this because they make it affordable for everybody.
I think it's a great concept. Last year they actually had a royal pavilion, and it was quite well done.
The Coin of the Realm is a very exciting new thing for me because I haven't done that before. It's been a lot of fun. The kids seem to like it. A lot of the parents that are coming out here, they seem to enjoy it also.
We love pirate treasure. I like pirate treasure!
I love pirate treasure, says the Coin of the Realm kids. So anyway, Renaissance festivals was a great place for us to do this. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a big Renaissance festival in Texas. It's called the Scarborough Fair. And they actually have a number of attendees per year. They average, check this out, they average consistently draws more than 200,000 visitors over the 6 or 8 weeks of the festival that happens. Where is it exactly? It is in Waxahachie, Texas, right down the street, where we've got a great community of people that are on the TexitCoin rocket ship. And so we did this thing called Coin of the Realm back in the early days. And one of my favorite stories um back in the day. And you got to remember, this is 2010, this is 2011, this is 2012. We're battling all the guys that are showing up with digital solutions. So we got tokens, they've got cards, they've got tap to pay, they've got simple, no tokens. You don't need tokens. It's old fashioned and totally stupid. Digital's fast. And we were selling against that. That was our competitor back in the day when we were introducing this product to fairs and festivals. And so I'll never forget when I finally got a meeting set with my pie in the sky, big, hairy, audacious goal prospect. I sat down with the City of Addison events manager and I was able to present Coin of the Realm for the Addison Oktoberfest organizer. And that was the biggest event in these parts back in the day. I don't remember the knit lady's name. I don't know exactly when it was, but I told her everything, and she said, I absolutely love it. I'm on board. Let's do it. Let's use Coin of the Realm tokens at the Addison Oktoberfest. And I said, man, that's great. Just one last question we have to answer to get prepared for the event. How many people attend the Addison Oktoberfest? We have about 100,000 people show up over our 3-day event. Okay, great. And what's the average revenue per person? She said the average person spends about $40 at our event. And I said, well, that's easy math. 100,000 people times $40 is $400,000. So I'm going to need to mint up 400,000 half-ounce copper tokens. It's going to be the biggest job I've ever done. It's going to take me a long time to produce these 400,000 tokens. I can do it. It's a big job, but I can get it done. The lady looks at me and she goes, isn't 100,000 times 40 4 million? And I thought about it for a second and I looked at her and I literally, my exact thing, I closed my notebook and I said, I'm very sorry for have wasted your time. I'll come back to you someday when I have a solution to that. There's no way that I could finance or manufacture 4 million half-ounce copper tokens. It was impossible for me back then. It's probably impossible for me today. Just think about how much warehouse space I would need to store 4 million half-ounce copper tokens in the off-season. Think about the truckloads carrying 4 million half-ounce copper tokens that would be required to bring all of the money to the event. It just doesn't scale. Great concept, really a ton of fun, works for small events. But imagine pitching the Scarborough event. I'm sure with inflation, the average revenue per person is now $100. Do the math on it. 200,000 people participating in an event times $100 per person, 200,000 times 100. It's more easy math. It's 20 million. Okay, you can recycle some of them. You don't need them all the same day. If it happens, over 6 weeks, let's say, that's 42 days. Well, you only need 500,000 per day. It's still 500,000 half-ounce copper tokens, an insane quantity. And so I did great. The concept worked. We proved it out. We made money with it. But I was fighting against that digital thing. And of course, the digital guys were right. Gold and silver, copper, they're great. They're valuable. Look at what's happened with gold, silver, and copper over the last 10, 12 years since I got started down that path. They've done wonderful things. But of course, digital is the wave of the future. And as long as I resisted that, as long as I turned a blind eye to that, as long as I kept the horse and buggy blinders on, I wasn't able to see what I was missing. And it took me a very long time. Okay, so let's pause that for a second and let's stop to consider for just a moment what it is that makes me great. What is it that makes me unique? It's definitely not my affiliate marketing expertise. I don't know much about that. We've done pretty good so far, but I'm not a pro. I haven't done that for decades. I'm not even a crypto genius. I can't code this crypto tech stuff. I know the basics. I probably know them more than most people do, but it's not my area of expertise. I know I'm super cool, but that's not what makes me special. What makes me special is I consider myself to be the foremost expert in the US, maybe around the world, in alternative and complementary currencies. That's what I believe to be my specialty. That's what I think I'm not just really good at, but the absolute best at. I say this, and you got to remember that I'm the guy that testified in US Congress back in 2012 about alternative currencies. Go back and watch that. Look at the other two guys that testified alongside of me. They're not talking about alternative currencies. They're talking about gold and silver. They're talking about economics. I'm not an economics major. I'm not a macroeconomics finance guru. I'm the guy that knows how to get communities to use alternative and complementary currencies. I did it very successfully. I provided for my family for a very long time. I built a business. I built a factory out of that demand. I'm the guy that knows how to get a community to use an alternative or complementary currency or payment system successfully. That's what I know how to do. I've learned the crypto stuff along the way. I've learned the affiliate marketing stuff along the way. But the thing that I'm truly passionate about is honest money. And the thing that I know how to do best is get communities to use alternative and complementary currency systems. That's what I consider myself to be really, really good at. And that's the thing that we're finally getting to on our layer 2. That's what layer 2 is. That's what phase 2 is. We've done all this work. Fast forward a couple of years, Asia, crypto, and voila. Now, all of a sudden, here we are in 2025, and every single one of us has the world's most honest accounting system, monetary system in the palm of our hands. Now, with blockchain technology, we all have this digital money printer on standby. We have the most accessible and accountable monetary and accounting system ever created. We looked for stuff like this back in 2008, 2009, 2010. Store it on your own database. Host it on this server. Server's hacked. Everyone's data is messed up. Funds are stolen. Can't figure it out. With blockchain technology now, we all have the most accountable public monetary system, and we can use it for an endless number of things. You want to use it to make voting records more secure? Fine. You want to use it to secure medical records? Fine. You want to use it to build out a transparent mining system? Fine. We can use crypto and blockchain technology for all of this stuff. And so in the last 10, 11, 12 years, I've taken off the blinders. I've seen this blockchain technology thing for what it is. And that's when I discovered not just that we have the opportunity to make these community currencies easy, better, and faster, but we can do it now with a coin that's built exclusively in Texas. So why TexitCoin? We've got Bitcoin. Bitcoin did what we're doing now, except they never really built a layer 2. They've got this lightning network thing, confusing. Some people have tried to do layer 2 stuff, but still we have this problem where the Bitcoin has become so valuable, they never changed the block size, they never changed the rules, so the transaction fees now are impossible to use for small point-of-sale transactions. You want to buy a cup of coffee and have it cost $2 for a transaction fee? It's too much. It doesn't work. We have the same problem today with Ethereum. Ethereum's got the same issue. 30, 40, 50 cents per transaction doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're buying a $5 cup of coffee, a 50-cent transaction is 10%. Why not just use Visa, MasterCard? Well, we got Solana, we got Cardano, we got these other things, blah, 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 more and more and more confusing. Already mined. No opportunity for people to have an incentive to help secure this network. So I looked at all that stuff and I said, hey, we've got this great accounting system. Let's make a USA version of it. Let's build it here in America. Let's build out this network, this accountable monetary accounting system network. Let's do it right here in the USA so that we're in 100% control of it. We don't need foreign nations to control this stuff. We don't need them changing the rules, increasing the fees once they get us hooked. Look what's happened with the Visa MasterCard. You know, those fees started out at like 3%, and then all of a sudden it's 2%, 1%. Everyone's on board, and now the fees are back up to 3%. Let's put the network 100% in our control, and let's give a community of decentralized participants the incentive to be the stewards, the caretakers of that network. Let's give them an upside. So now they can benefit financially from the performance of this network and the usability, the utility of this network, as opposed to letting that money go to the big banks. They got enough money. Let's give the little guy a shot now. And so that's why I started TexitCoin, to build a network that we control that gives us the incentive, that gives us the upside. The same thing that the Bitcoin guys were doing back in 2011, 2012, 2013. Except Bitcoin became digital gold. The price went up so high that Gresham's law kicked in. People said, well, why would we spend it when we can just hold on to it and it's going to be more valuable later? Plus, it's going to cost $85 to buy this cup of coffee in 2017. Wild, wild transaction fees. And so I started TexitCoin to give us a second chance at all of that. And we look at where we are today. We stop for a moment, we pause, and we take stock of where we are today. Stop, look, listen. Plug yourself into good information and realize, look at what we've got today. We've got 55,000 people today in our community. We call them miners, but they're individuals. They're human beings. They're people in communities all over the country, some all over the world, that may know the mayor in a small town, that might be sitting on the city council in a small town, that might be on the board of directors of a chamber of commerce, that might be a small business owner on a main street somewhere. They might be active in the 4-H and have a county fair coming up that could benefit from a no-cost payment solution. They might be somebody that is out there that can help us build relationships with businesses and vendors on Main Street. They might be people that can help us bring community currencies to a town near you. Wow. We did this with nothing. We went from 0 to 55,000 individuals that are all thinking of creative ways to build utility for our coin that we made out of nothing because they have a vested interest in our success. We've got the mine. We've got hundreds of nodes now scattered all over the state of Texas. We've got a reliable, decentralized network. It's permissioned, which means you can't mine it without our permission. You can't just throw all the hash power that you bought with your fake money at it and take our blocks. We can take yours, but you can't take ours. Understand the difference between permissioned and decentralized. We've got nodes now scattered across homes all over the state of Texas and tens of thousands more coming soon. We're building the mine. But best of all, guys, I now have the money, the capital to get the job done, to implement the layer 2, to get the community currencies going. Capital that we've never had in the past. How much money do I have? I have enough to get the job done 100 times over. Whether that means in McKinney, Texas, or McKinney, Allen, Frisco, or it means McKinney and Gonzales and this town and that town and your town, we've got the resources to do it now. And it's taken a while to get to where we are today. We have the technology to do it as well. Let's share a screen here real quick and see if I can show you two things. Where's my browser? There's my browser. Number one, wallet.texitcoin.org. Oh man, do I know my password? You can now log right in. Hopefully we didn't see my password. Really? Okay, let's authenticate. We're going to pause the video for a second here. There we go. We're in. There's our wallet. There's our password. Let's unlock. And right here, we've got our tokens that we can go in and spend instantly, inexpensively. Pop in a wallet address, scan a QR code, put in the number of tokens you want, pay a ridiculously tiny network fee, and we're good to go. We now have, oh man, tokens.texitcoin.org, where you can go to create your own layer 2. Or if you've already created a token, you can mint additional tokens or you can burn tokens. This is a variable supply token, and this is what gives you the ability to create a fixed supply token. Fixed or manageable. Suppose we start the McKinney Downtown Digital Dollars. How many do we have? 0. Okay, well then people buy in. How many do we have? Well, we'd have to go back and we'd have to mint tokens on the fly. We'd have to have the permission and the private key of the person that owns that contract, but we can create these tokens on the fly. Friends, this is all done now. We've been talking about it for a very long time. Today, it is done. At no small cost, with no small amount of effort. We did it. And while we did it, we were building a community of 55,000 miners that have a vested interest in our success. Of mines in McKinney, coming soon to Conroe, coming soon to Victoria, in Mansfield, in homes all over the state. We built the network. And now the next step for us is the implementation of what I call the Downtown Digital Dollars. How did we get the name? We got the name Downtown Digital Dollars from McKinney because McKinney, to our amazement, already had a community currency called the Downtown Dollars. And the first thing they said to me when they learned about this, they said, you know what we really want? We'd really love to go digital because this system right now is incredibly inconvenient. It's a slip of paper with a MasterCard number on it. The bank still takes 3%. What? What? That's not how a community currency works. It's like a gift card. That's really all it is on paper. And it's awkward. Nobody uses it. They have, get this, a grand total of $25,000 of economic impact with their community currency, the Downtown Dollars here in McKinney, the largest downtown historic cultural district in the state. It produces $25,000 of annual economic benefit that's spread across 200 downtown merchants. It means that a merchant in downtown McKinney is likely to see an average of $125 of the local community currency. And McKinney's #1 in the state. And I saw that and I said, okay, whoa, hold that thought. I'm not ready yet. This was about a year ago. I'm not ready yet, but I want an opportunity to present to you our digital solution that's fast, inexpensive, don't have to pay 3% to the banks. Give me a little bit of time to get the job done. We're just getting started. But I'm going to come back to you someday. I'm going to introduce you McKinney Downtown Digital Dollars. Now, today, at this moment right now, I have yet to make that presentation. I haven't done it yet. The relationships are there. They introduced us to the Texas Downtown Association, where we build out relationships as well. We went from there back to the International Association of Fairs and Expos. I'm not sure if Stephanie is on our call yet tonight. Let me see if I can get a hold of Stephanie and have her join us. Join us for the call? Question mark. What is the link to our call? Hopefully I have it. Give me just a second here. That is not it. Sorry. Should have planned ahead. I think this is the link. Here we go. Okay, I got it. She says link, question mark. So we're going right down the same path that I went down and learned and mastered back in 2010, 2011, 2012. Why? Because it's low-hanging, ripe fruit of events that have limited access The people that go to fairs and festivals are already comfortable using an alternative currency. We don't have a big learning curve to be like, hey, you got to use this other money inside of this system. And so I want to go through real quick when Stephanie joins a little bit of a review of what we accomplished this past week at the event. Let's see if I can find her. Stephanie, when you join, please give me a hand up. Hold on. Hand up when you join, please. I want to talk real quick about that. You're not all Stephanie. Let's bring Stephanie back in. Okay, I think I got the right Stephanie. Fingers crossed. A lot of Stephanies out there. I think I got her. Is that the real Stephanie?
Yes.
It's the real you. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining. You're in town right now, but you're not in HQ.
Correct.
Stephanie and I go way, way, way back. And we've been around a lot of the same stuff for a very long time. In fact, maybe you want to tell us the quick version of, what was it? Mountain money? Mountain dollars?
Hours?
Mountain hours.
Yes, which was a barter currency that was in Breckenridge, Colorado. And it was like the beginning of bartering for us. And now we've got this amazing platform that Bobby has built and that we're working together to roll out to Texas and beyond.
So we met through the Liberty Dollar, which was a silver community currency system that I had learned about and kind of perfected and turned into the American Open Currency Standard. But the problem with silver is you got to have the silver, right? So if we're short on money, then other communities that say, hey, well, we don't have the gold, the silver, but we still want to barter, they turn to other types of systems. So you had Mountain Hours, and Ithaca has Ithaca Hours, and there are towns all over the country that can easily adopt an hours-based monetary system. And, look, you can argue which one's good, which one's better, which ones are bad. But that was what you were working on there in what city, Colorado? Was it in
Breckenridge, like a decade ago, which is crazy to think about.
Way longer than a decade ago.
So crazy.
That was way back when, 2008, 2009.
15 years ago almost, yeah.
Right, exactly. So we come from this similar world of alternative currencies. You've got experience with it. I've got experience with it. I think that I've been able to do it very successfully. And so we reconnected. We started talking about layer 2. We started talking about utility. When you talk about cryptocurrency, everyone always wants to know, like, well, what's it for? What's the purpose? What's the utility? This is what the crypto industry has cooked up as their argument against being a security. Hey, we're going to launch a token and it's worthless and it has no purpose, but our utility is blah, blah, blah. And that's why we're not a security. And so all these guys are trying to fit this, square utility peg through their round cash grab, rug pull, pump and dump hole to get around the we're not a security issue. And so people say, what's the utility? Well, we actually have real utility. Our utility is working to get people to use our currency and our network for the layer 2, for the monetary side. Now, there's a bit of an issue here, and we're going to get into it deeper later. But layer 2, the downtown digital problems, I actually see as a stepping stone, as a user experience warm up to actually getting people to use TexitCoin as money. It's like, okay, well, if a person accepts the layer 2 McKinney downtown dollars and they also accept TexitCoin, which one's better? Well, that option is always out there for the consumer to decide. But what the biggest challenge is people have with adopting digital currency, cryptocurrency as money, is the volatility. And so the layer 2, the stable coin, the dollar-backed stable coin community currency, eliminates that risk for the merchant. So the dollars get stored somewhere at a local bank, and then the digital dollar, the digital downtown dollar, is able to circulate rapidly and at almost no cost throughout the downtown area. So What do? We sponsored the International Association of Fairs and Expos, which we found out wasn't even the big event for the industry. And we became one of their largest sponsors at their big event this year, which just happened last week and a half ago. And Stephanie and your sister, right, Amanda, were out there exhibiting, sharing our story. So I was hoping to grab you just for a couple minutes, if you've got time, to share a little bit of what we were able to kind of hear from the people that were visiting you at the booth, and then what the people were giving us as far as feedback at our presentation at the tail end of the event. What would you say was your key takeaway from that experience?
I think it was really exciting because all of these festivals are looking to go digital. And a big reason that they're looking to go digital is because the kiosks don't work. A lot of them are using paper tickets.
Isn't that mind-blowing?
They don't want
we
to
were
have the
14
fraud.
years ago, they were using paper tickets. Fast forward 14 years, they're still using paper tickets.
And they're weighing them. They're like, wait a second, we need a better system. And so
it's wild. I'm like, what have you been doing the last 14 years? Paper tickets.
Yeah.
So they still need it. They still need digital systems. There are systems out there. And again, these are the guys that I was selling against back in 2010, 2011, 2012. I was trying to get people to go physical with physical copper tokens, minted copper tokens. And I was selling against the guys that were saying go digital, but they were charging a fee. You have to pay for that. There's hardware, there's training, there's a transaction fee. So they're charging for that privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And
Your
so
talk was really good. It was very comprehensive. I actually recorded it. Maybe we should.
Did you really?
I did.
I was wondering if we were going to record it, and you did.
I did.
The talk ended up being more of like a fireside chat. It was a small group. We did it after the event was over, right? So I don't know how many people stuck around, but that's the spot we got. We were late to the party. And so it was after the event concluded. The main event went for like 4 days, and then a day later, that was us. So we had 16 people there, but it wasn't 16 nobodies.
They were very interested people, and that was the great thing of having them there.
Not just interested people, interested event organizers from state fairs, from
Very
rodeos.
Yes.
Let's not name drop because we want to develop those relationships, but let's just say that people stuck around to hear what we had to say. And so the fireside chat ended up being about cryptocurrency. It's like, look, we're going to talk digital. Is everybody scared of Bitcoin? And I asked the community, I said, how many people here are investing in cryptocurrency? No hands. How many people here have a Coinbase account? No hands. Not one. Not 35% or 10%, but nobody in that room. Even to that day, I said, okay, well, let's start by trying to demystify crypto a little bit. We're talking about an accounting system. We're talking about everybody now in your pocket having the world's most honest and accountable monetary system that we can use for a countless number of things. So we started there and we spent a lot of time there. But then we got to like really the point that you told me you heard again and again and again from people that have these events that travel from area to area to area. Do you remember what that was?
A lot of it is making sure when they leave the communities, what kind of state are the communities left in? And that's really where we come in and we shine and we help them to be the heroes.
So I told a story a few minutes before you joined about my pitch to the Addison Oktoberfest event organizer and how it was such a flop because my math was wrong. And what the lady said to me when I closed my book and I apologized, and she said, you know, what I really want is something that can actually circulate in the community even after the event is concluded. Mm-hmm. My eyes went wide. I was like, well, that's what I wanted to really pitch you. But I figured an easy way for us to get started would be through like this festival. She's like, well, that's what we really want. And it was really a game changer. It almost caused me to open the notebook back up and say, okay, well, now if I don't have to worry about storing 4 million tokens all year, and these 4 million tokens have an opportunity to circulate year round in and around the community as a community currency, as a local economic promise, well, now we've got something different. I'll get back to you. I didn't have the money. We were too small back then. You know, maybe that opportunity goes or is there still to explore today. But even setting that aside, we know that the fair and festival industry, how big is the fair and festival industry? We took a look at this the other night in the Q&A section of our call, but I disappeared my meeting controls. There it is. We know that the fair and festival industry is scheduled to exceed $3 trillion by 2032. And so $3 trillion is expected to go into the fair and festival industry over the next couple of years. What a huge amount of money that is. We're talking Oktoberfest, we're talking July 4th parties, we're talking about county fairs, we're talking about rodeos, we're talking about huge events that draw hundreds of thousands of people. Let's do the math real quick on Scarborough, because Scarborough's nearby. I'm guessing that with the huge community that we have down in Waxahachie, we probably know somebody. 200,000 visitors times $100 revenue per person is $20 million. Imagine if $20 million of Scarborough token came into existence over the period of that event. But here's the fun part. Here's the fun part. What we do, because people need to have TXC to pay the tiny transaction fee when they're circulating their Scarborough tokens for turkey legs and for, mugs of beer, they need TXC to pay the incredibly ridiculous small transaction fee. And if we sell them $1 of TXC, so they've gotten more than enough to pay all the transaction fees for the whole event and maybe for the rest of their lives, we're talking about 1% of that 20 million going into purchasing TexitCoin on the open market, because that's the gas, that's the fuel, that's the coin that they need to acquire, the utility, the need to accomplish the goal of trading this very low cost layer 2. So during one event, it could bring in $200,000 of buying power into the TexitCoin marketplace, because these 200,000 people all pick up $1 worth of TexitCoin. That's one event, one town, 1 year. Think about the $3 trillion, right? How many zeros is that? Million, billion, trillion. 3 trillion. And 1% of that is $30 billion. So if we capture the entire fair and festival marketplace, $30 billion of a TexitCoin gets acquired and locked into the wallet on the phone, not tradable, not monetized, not dumped on the market when the market gets tough, but locked into the background of the app, so they've got something to pay the gas fee the next time they want to buy a turkey leg. Suppose we only pick up 1% of the market. $30 billion times 1% is $300 million of market demand for TXC that never can get dumped on the open market, ever.
I'm getting excited. I'm feeling really excited right now.
300 million if we pick up 1% with our no cost solution. Everyone's paying for it now. I got something you can use for free. What's the catch? You got to use blockchain, bro. Got to use my network. I built this network. I need to find some utility. Oh, and by the way, the thing that you told me was so important, having a positive impact on the communities that service your event. Yeah, the community currency stays and circulates around town all year long. So take that $3 trillion of fair and festival money, add in another, I don't know how much money of community currency spending, maybe double that number. That's more economic impact that we have for the town. That's money that stays there. That's money that has a high likelihood of circulating 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 times downtown before it goes to Walmart and heads off to China. If we can capture 1% of that market, by 2030, it's a $300 million of annual demand for TexitCoin to go onto the app, into the phone, locked indefinitely.
That's
That
exciting.
is utility. It's a big number. And we know how to communicate with these people. We know how to find them. The IFE wasn't even the big event. Do you remember the name of the one that's bigger?
The IAPA.
IAPA.
IAAPA.
What does it stand for? Any idea?
APA?
International Association.
I don't remember. It's in Florida.
I can Google it at some point. So we know that they need our solution. We know how to connect with them. We know that we can connect with them for an extremely low cost. We didn't pay. Think about these crypto events. You want to go showcase your stuff. What do we pay to get into what we did in Singapore? In Singapore, we had a coffee station, a coconut station, a couple banners around the event, a little bit of stage time on the third stage, and a 10 by 20 booth. It cost us $500,000. What did we pay to be one of the top sponsors at the IAFE Expo? Was it 25 grand or 15?
25.
25,000 bucks to give us direct access to decision makers at state fairs and festivals that have gone on for dozens of years. Guys, this is low hanging fruit. This is a captive audience. And our solution costs them nothing. What's the catch? The catch is that you got to use our TXC blockchain, the Made in America crypto blockchain. And that's it. And if I get 1% of the market through the 55,000 plus miners that we have that have friends with people on the city council, that might know the mayor in town, that might know the event organizer for the big festival that's coming up, that might know somebody on the 4-H or the board of directors at the, the council, the chamber. You're telling me that I can't make good connections and get someone's ear and introduce to them our no-cost solution that's going to save them money and keep money in the community? Come on. I did it before the hard way, guys. Now it's easy. Now it's easy, and it's all done because we did it. 55,000 miners in our community, $140 million raised. We've built out our decentralized mine. We've got more mine building to go. We've got more mining seats to sell. And our utility, we have no competition. Did you see any other cryptocurrency organizations there trying to get small towns to start trading locally? No. Why? Because nobody else can speak this language like I can. Why? Because nobody else walked in my shoes. We did it before. We serviced this community before. They know who we are. We go in there with a reputation of service that we built over years to pave the way for us to go in and invite them to build on the TXC blockchain. Stephanie, I understand that you're making or in the process of making an important life decision to spend a little bit of time here.
True.
To help us roll out the McKinney Downtown Digital Dollars. Is that a decision? Is that a done deal?
It is very exciting. I am down here currently looking at different options.
Schools, places to stay. There's a lot that goes into it, but we would be incredibly honored. And I don't want to put you on the spot here for the 48 million people that are watching right now. It's 579.
Okay.
But I would really like to have you here by my side to build this thing, because we got a lot of exciting things going on. We've got a growing community of miners. We've got hardware that needs to get installed so that we follow through on our promise that we make. And it would be really spectacular to have you and the little one that I see running around in the background there.
There are so many great things happening, and it's so exciting.
Well, it would be really incredible with your experience doing the very same things that I did well back all those years ago. It'd be really great with all the experience that you have and having this conversation and inviting people to help support the local community and establishing relationships with, city councils and chambers of commerce that you've already done so far for us here. It'd be really great to have you stick around and help us roll this out. I know we can do it quick. I know you've already got a waiting list of people that are also ready for us to make this presentation. And we're not ready to do it tomorrow, but I do want to tell the people in our community that have tuned into this call that we are extremely close and extremely excited. And that's the fuel that feeds the fire that I've got that pushes me and this project forward every single day. Price up, price down, sales up, sales down. None of it matters. We've got everything we need.
I just want to work all the time because it's so exciting. I'm like, what am I doing? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, there's just so much to be excited about. So
Well, you got to have that entrepreneurial spirit to really understand that. But when you have something good and honest and real and successful and profitable, it's like, why wouldn't I work at 1 a.m.? There's no downside.
seriously,
Get the kids to help. Liberty was out there working at the booth with you. She was top sales lady. Um,
she was a great marketer. She
yeah. So
recruited people to come talk to me. It was great.
come on over. You got to talk to the people at the Downtown Digital Dollars booth. Guys, it's very close and it's very exciting, and we've come a long way. And I hope that you see the tools that have taken so much time and expertise to build with the layer two, the token generation, the token creation and burn features. This is all stuff that's tough. The Bitcoin bros never did it. We did. And so we're really proud of it, and a lot more is coming. And I'm very, very hopeful that my friend Stephanie is going to be willing to share her time with us and take the plunge and be here to help us really roll out, phase two, layer two, and start here in McKinney, where we've got a great relationship already, where we've already got such a well-known, well-established brand, and then use McKinney as our model, as our pilot that we prove out here, and then take to the Texas Downtown Association folks to show them how easy it is to use. And we're working through all the technological hurdles, and we've come up with solutions for all the things that were previously a challenge, a struggle for us, a real challenge. And so, without getting too deep into the exact mechanics of it tonight, I want everyone on our call to know that we're arriving at phase two. Thank you very much for all the hard work you've done on helping us with phase one. You've paved the way for us to get to where we are today with phase two. We've got work to do. We know exactly what to do. We know how to do it. We've already been planting seeds for a very long time. There's nothing uncomfortable or unfamiliar or fearful for us in the phase two, layer two community currency conversation. It's a conversation we've had before. It's with people that we've been developing relationships with already. And so we're very excited to get that process now going. And of course, as always, we'll share the results with you almost real time all along the way. That's what you can always count on from us. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us and sharing your Thursday evening with us. I hope that you're as excited as I am about the future, about our utility, about the market demand for TXC that's created through the successful implementation of our layer two. There's a lot more coming that's going to continue to drive the success of our project day in, day out, for years to come. Generational wealth is coming our way. Okay, so that's it. I'm Bobby Gray. This is Stephanie. Thank you so much. Hopefully, you'll be seeing a lot more of her in the very near future. Guys, have a great Thursday night, and we'll talk again soon. Good night.
Bye, y'all.